that sort of thing all the time. All right, so again, some of your players, it isn't luck when they score from ridiculous areas because they actually have practiced it hours and hours and hours. And then others try and copy them without having practiced it, and whether it happens or not, it is luck. So again, we're talking about preparation and what you do off the field. Planning for mastery. Don't forget great feedback. Now, the biggest thing about mastery, I'm going to talk to you about 10,000 hours, and all of you will have heard it. One guy stood up and said there is no such thing. The truth is we can fast track 10,000 hours. How do we do that? Instead of always empowering players, we actually understand when you have great coaches who have great expertise, then they will fast track players as long as they give feedback often and they give it immediately especially. If you can find a couple of players on the ground that are Tigers, are empathetic and are older players, they will fast track your young guys. Now, here's the thing about that. If you think about expertise, in Outliers the guy talks about how do we get expertise quickly. Sorry, that's in Thinking Fast and Slow. He talks about the difference between a radiologist and an anaesthetist. And my husband's a doctor and he says anaesthetists get good really quickly. Why do anaesthetists get good really quickly, do you think? Why do they get great feedback? How do they get great feedback, do you reckon? Yeah, if they're crap, they kill people. The patient starts dying. So one of the big things is anaesthetists start to become experts really quickly. Because, you know, we're not, beep, 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 okay, I better do something about that. Radiologists, on the other hand, true, Mark, they don't find out for a long time whether they're actually right. So my poor old auntie who had 2 fractures got sent back with nothing wrong with her, and we've both gone, we think there's something wrong. They've sent back, oh, sorry, there were 2 fractures, we missed them. All right? If they don't get feedback, they just think they're right, and they keep coming back to the doctors, and often the doctors don't ring them and say, wait a minute, you got that wrong. They send them off to get done again by someone else. So feedback is one of the things that can create expertise quickly if it's good feedback and it's relevant to what you want. So mastery, where do they get this stuff from and why do I love it? It's a really good thing for players because I get most of my AFL guys and my young golfers and everything else like that to actually add up how many hours they've done. By the time most of them hit the system, if you talk about how many hours they've done, it's somewhere around 4,000 to 6,000 hours. So they're already in this bit here. And what they've looked at, mastery is 6 hours a day, 6 days a week for 6 years. If we're getting the players here, somewhere between 4,000 and 6,000 hours, they're actually, I'm telling you, there's some we've lost, or we haven't got yet, because they're the late developers that have just not had the hours yet. And if we put some more time into some of these other guys, you'll actually find they'll come through, especially if they're like Tigers. They won't give up. But somewhere between 6,000 and 10,000 hours, which is your AFL area, they're going to be told they're not going to make it. Sorry, you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not this. So as a psychologist I go, you've got 2 choices. You believe that person or we're going to find a way. We're going to find a way to keep going. We're going to find a way to open a new door. We're going to find a way. And we start working out. In almost every activity, this is not in footy, this is stage, drama, all of this, everyone gives up by 6,000 hours, so there are very few champions. People believe it when they're told, you're not big enough, you're not strong enough. Now imagine you've got an 18-year-old who wasn't the best and biggest. Men grow late, and yet we recruit them at under 18s. There's all these others that if we had and put them together, they will actually come through too. But we actually have forgotten them at the moment because we're actually so into immediacy. If I had the choice, I would love to have an academy of second chance and just have all these guys say, give me 2 years. And with golf, for instance, now they've even got a program where the guys use it as part of their university. It's 1 year towards sports science. And they actually do golf as their other thing, or basketball. That's running here now in Victoria. We need to do it in footy. It should be going. It's a huge thing to do and it helps. Mastery. You never be perfect, but if you want to be the best at something, here's the major secret. Preparation, hard work and persistence. And you don't have to worry about those things. Because if you think about what Eagles worry about, it's things they can't control. Well, we can actually control how well you're prepared. We can control how hard you work, and we can control how persistent you are at it. So these things take away the anxiety stuff, because we can control them. Their choices. And here's a bit of an idea. This is how many million swings they did before they won their first Masters. Pretty good. At what age they were. Tiger Woods was 19 when he won his first Masters. He'd done 24 million swings. 32, 21, all of that goes on. So we actually know this isn't just, oh wow, but have a look at this guy. He actually started, no wonder he won early. Have a look at his hours.
Tiger Woods. And Elder was an accomplished golfer. He wins tournaments on a regular basis and has shot close to par on 18-hole courses. Incredibly, Tiger here is only 5 years old.